First up, we have Zad Archery. The game is a casual idle clicker archery game where you upgrade your auto-played archer to have new, stronger abilities as well as new and better gear as he takes on tougher foes through multiple levels. The demo is very basic and it took me about 30 minutes to 100%. I unlocked every node and maxed out all the upgrades. The only thing I didn't do was min-max my gear. The demo includes 2 archery jobs and the start of a crafting skill. Each consequentially unlocked archery job adds new abilities for the archer, keeping the same abilities from the previously unlocked jobs. The crafting skill is very basic in this demo, being able to be upgraded twice, which unlocks new tiers of armor and bows to be crafted. There is a level of min-maxing to be had in the crafting system, as crafted weapons are randomly assigned a rarity level with unique subtraits. The game will release at some point this year in 2026 and include a ton of new content, including a fully fleshed out skill tree, new archery jobs, new skills, and more. Overall, this game felt very polished in the small snippet we were given. It seems to have good bones as an idle game, and I could definitely see this game being fun to play on release to pass the time. On to our next demo, we have Don't Lose Aggro. The game is a single-player roguelike where you play as a tank protecting your NPC teammate from waves of enemies. At the start of a level, you start hacking away at enemies to get them to target you. Your NPC teammate has an ability that does big damage to enemies and is most efficiently used after you have amassed a large group of enemies around you. When you kill enemies, you gain experience, which allows you to level up and select new abilities that make it easier to gain aggro and keep yourself and your ally alive. Outside of each level, there is a permanent talent tree progression in which you unlock stat boosts and other effects. And that was pretty much all that was in the demo. Honestly, this one piqued my interest because I love playing as a tank in MMOs, and I wanted to showcase this game in this video because I felt like it has the bones to make a really interesting experience. I do want to say that the current form of the game feels like a demo full stop, a proof of concept but no real game experience behind it. I think that if the game is going for an MMO tank feel, it should be more of a dungeon crawler where you clear MMO-like dungeons with a full party of tank, DPS, and healer. I think that there definitely is a demographic that would purchase a game with maybe 10 to 15, 30-minute dungeons with fun boss mechanics that are really challenging and tank-focused. If this game takes the mechanics it already has and applies that to a different style of game, I firmly believe it has the chance to succeed. As the game currently stands though, Don't Lose Aggro plans to release in early access sometime in the year 2020. Next up, we have The People of Sea, Sun, and Salt. This game is a colony sim city builder. Your civilization begins on a small island that slowly gains more land for you to build on as you progress through the game. The game's progression is dependent on your city's population, so once you hit a population milestone, you will progress to a new stage, where you unlock new buildings that satisfy the new needs of your people. I actually really enjoyed progressing to a new stage or era. Each era provides choices for you to make regarding what buildings you want to unlock and how you want to shape your civilization from a functional and story perspective. Beyond the era progression, most of the game's systems will be very familiar to anyone who has played a city builder before. You manage resources such as food, water, building materials, religion points, and leisure. And the game is fairly casual, so it doesn't really punish the player for deleting buildings and allows buildings to be moved for free. I did, however, find some frustration when unlocking new buildings, and also the needs that came along with them. The early game world is so small, and when you unlock new buildings, you almost assuredly don't have enough room on your previously used tiles to place new buildings to satisfy new needs of your citizens. Luckily, since you can delete and move buildings at no cost, it's not too big of a deal, but it still feels very constricting and inconvenient. The current version of the demo has a lot of content that I've yet to fully experience. While there is currently no release date for full release, it almost already plays like an early access than a demo. The demo supports multiple save files, over 100 unique buildings, and over 15 progression eras. Overall, I found this game to be fairly unique, and I especially enjoyed the music and the feeling of directing the narrative of my city. Again, the game is called The People of Sea, Sun, and Salt. Now we have Hear the Bell Toll. It is a deck builder roguelike where you build up your city to survive through years of potential famine, sickness, and economic depression. In the current version of the demo, the goal is to survive 25 years. Now stick with me here because I'm going to explain the game's mechanics here, and the game can seem complex, but it's pretty easy to pick up the mechanics after 1 or 2 quick 5-minute runs. There are 3 phases in each year. The first phase is the card selection phase, where you select which buildings you want to purchase. Each building belongs to a certain building class, such as residence, industry, health, or faith, and then building a certain number of each building class will earn you a synergy, which yields bonuses at the end of each year. After the building selection phase, Phase 2 begins. Phase 2 is the building placement stage. Some buildings have special effects that only become active if certain requirements are met. So, for example, the windmill gives 1 extra tax per empty adjacent tile. Careful building selections in Phase 1 and strategic placement of those buildings in Phase 2 are essential for your success in Phase 3. So, Phase 3 is the calculation phase, during which the year ends and your choices in Phase 1 and 2 determine if you move on to the next year. Your city survives the year if you meet the exponentially increasing tribute requirement. The tribute you earn is calculated by the total population of your city multiplied by the taxes you earned. Your population and taxes are affected by a multitude of different factors that'll let you figure out for yourself if you pick up the demo. So like I said, the game definitely may seem complex after that snippet of information, but I personally felt it was easy to pick up after my first 5-minute run. There was one bug I found and replicated where hiding the shop in Phase 1 makes you buy the building card on the left. I also felt the game would have benefited from a summary screen at the end of each year. It would have been nice to see what all the numbers being used were. Hear the Bell Toll currently does not have a release date, but its full release will feature more buildings, difficulty levels, maps, and status effects to manage. Overall, this was a unique, fun, roguelike experience for me. After some small improvements, I can definitely see myself playing this for hours on end without realizing that time is flying by. And finally, we have Cursed Blood, yet another roguelite to add to my watch list. Cursed Blood is a solo or co-op roguelite where you play by yourself or with 3 other players as demon samurai apes. The game has online and local co-op experiences, which is a rare feature in a lot of modern co-op games. Cursed Blood has brutal, fast-paced combat from an isometric perspective and plays like a twin-stick shooter. The combat is gory and weighty, with each sword strike being swift but heavy on contact. Attacks can be interrupted by dodging at any point, which helps to facilitate a very smooth combat feel where you always have control over your character. Along with swinging your sword around, the game also has guns you can loot from crates or gun-wielding enemies. Roguelite veterans will find themselves at home in this game. You kill a few enemies, find a checkpoint where you can choose in between a few upgrades, and then you progress to the next area. It took me about 30 minutes to complete this demo for a first run, and the demo does support multiple runs with some permanent upgrades and unlocks being made available. I personally found the level design and traversal to be quite unique. Jumping around on top of crates and assassinating enemies from behind are not what I normally expect from an isometric game, and it was a welcome experience. Cursed Blood plans to release in early access on April 2nd this year of 2026, which will include a wide selection of new weapons and gear, 5 distinct game modes, and at least 2 biomes or zones available. Overall, despite experiencing some lower performance in the 40 to 50 FPS range, I had a great deal of fun in this demo and will most likely return to it to do a few more runs. And those were some of the demos I played during Q1 2026 Steam Next Fest. I always have a blast during Steam Next Fest, and I'm glad I was able to share some of these this time around. If this is your first stop to the CT Gaming Lab, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely let me know if any of these demos stood out to you, or if you have any recommendations for me to check out. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.